I actually wrote this in Miss Weber's poetry class. Vulnerability. You are sitting at the table across from me, like an asshole. You have on that famous cocky smirk, the one you use to signify you are better than everyone else. You rub your olive face, pretending to be flawless. You blink to ignore anyone's judgments. You run your deceitful fingers through your blonde hair, swept in the air like shallow waves. You take pride in it. You believe in perfection. You think you own this building. Your long legs spread arrogance on the chair. Your elbows sink into the wood that's now your property. You think you are king. You torture the innocent minds. You seduce them with indifference. You are who you are. You can't help it. You are texting all your women. You suck them in quickly. You know they can only have you for one moment. You know they will believe in the fakeness beneath your sheets. You know they will rest their heads on your colossal ego. You know they will open their impatient thighs. You know they will take in every fresh breath they can't get back. You know you will fill the room with fake love they can't receive. You know you always get your way. You see yourself through your cloudy mirror, the one you use for your lies, that you don't need love, you don't need emotions, you don't need to care. But your vulnerability is smeared on your gray hoodie, the one thing you think looks ugly on you, because it makes you who you don't want to be, human, fucked up just like the rest of us. You try to hide it, but you know it still shows. You know it floats through every strand of that blonde, fragile hair. It brushes against your doubtful smile. It wraps around your worried irises. It rests on your shaking arms. It crawls up your embarrassed legs. It blends with your shadow. It follows you. It paints you. It ruins you. The next one is Midnight Puzzle. I also wrote this one in Miss Weber's poetry class. Brown eyes, curious irises, melt behind shiny lids. Sunset skin covers thin limbs. Small hills on the abdomen discover the unknown with gentle touches. Time passes by, each brush stays. Hands close and open each other. Fingers find their home in between. Lips feel the stubble, feel the pounding. Continue to battle against flawless, thick skin. Midnight wraps around sheets, pushes boundaries. Arms connect, wash away distance, chest against chest. Hearts stomp against each other. Sweat breaks free. Mouths open to taste doubt. Beauty whispers with each embrace, as two bodies break to form one. Silence erases all fears that remain. The next one's Whispers. I wrote this recently. Decided, why not go ahead and read it? I hear them whispering things they shouldn't know, things my mother swears aren't true, because she'd rather believe lies than face reality, because she'd rather cry for something you weren't than for something you were. You're buried beneath the silence, in the same position you were when you injected the poison that you fell in love with, that you thought could save you, because you were afraid of the air, of your breaths, of your thoughts, of the words you needed to say, but held in always, because you were afraid of them, afraid of all of them, when they were in your room, on your bed, in your mind, twisted into your veins, the ones you misused so that you could prove a point, one that no one cared about. You treasured the numbness, mistook it for peace, something no one can have, no one can own for free. I hear them reading their eulogies, saying they remember your smile, your radiance, the way you sucked in oxygen as if you'd never get it back, the way you woke up every morning looking forward to life, another chance, another opportunity. And I sit in my chair, consuming the black I'm wearing, pressing my hand into my leg, hoping it will cause another bruise, wishing I could tell all of them, fuck you. They don't even have the decency to tell the truth, not even at this moment when you're helpless, when you're soaked in hell, the kind you don't get on earth. They've turned you into a god, erased all the shit you've done, as if it didn't make you more real, as if they're embarrassed to share your last name, as if they don't care that I care, that you care, that this world should care, because we're tired of the fakeness, the legacy that's now invisible, the image that's fallen into the same hole every single one of us will be in, every single one of us will taste that sweet flavor of everything we couldn't do, of everyone we couldn't please, of every time we held it in, that pain we hated that we were taught to never feed. I hear them whispering again, as if I can't hear it, as if you can't feel it, as if saying it softly changes anything. Autumn Sorrow. I also wrote this one. I focus on your light green eyes, blended in with the leaves, waiting for the wind to breathe in and out again, so that the world will know that change has come. Your pale face looks lost in this field of sorrow, where branches go bare against their will, and anxious yellow leaves desperately try to hang on, hoping that they won't crumble like the rest. I watch you hold a bright leaf and stare at its white veins. You remember that this might be the final season. This might be the last green leaf. Okay, the next one is a flash fiction piece. It's called Orange Peel Candles. When we were in the 5th grade, Brian and I used to make candles out of orange peels. We'd wait until the white thing in the middle of the peel that nobody ever knew the name of dried up. Then we'd pour some canola oil on it and light it. As a kid, I thought it was the coolest thing I'd ever seen. It was the orange peel candles that began my obsession with setting things on fire. I started setting my homework, books, and the yellow roses my dad bought my mother every day on fire. There was a sense of excitement every time I watched the flames disperse and turn into ashes. The heat from the fire calmed me down. I even started burning photographs because it was the easiest way to get rid of unwanted memories. I don't have a single photo of me and Brian left. He hated photos anyway. He always said that they were dumb because no one needed to remember all the places they'd been and why and when they'd been there. But I knew that wasn't really the reason. Kids always teased him because he didn't have any eyebrows. They called him a freak or a ghost since he had pale skin. One day after I showed him all my old notes I had burned, we both decided to make up a story about how his eyebrows had been burnt off when he accidentally leaned too close over a fire pit. The kids in our class actually bought it, but our story never made him grow back his eyebrows. Sometimes when I visit his grave, I place an orange peel on it and light it, hoping it will make him happy. But I know that he's already happy, and that I'm the one who will never be. The next piece is also flash fiction. It's a little bit darker. It's called Sammy. Sammy's father used to beat him with a ping pong paddle every time he failed a math exam. He would hit him twice in the back of his head and 3 times in the middle of his spine. Sammy was really skinny too. His legs were as wide as the 2 belts his dad used to choke him after he'd break a dish while trying to clean up. Sammy was so clumsy that he couldn't even walk across carpet without tripping. But there was one talent that Sammy had, and that was annoying the crap out of people without even trying to. One time, he came home from school and unpacked his book bag, piling hundreds of notes on the dining room table, while his father was watching Scarface. He was making so much noise that his dad became irritated. He took the remote control, threw it against the wall that Sammy was standing in front of, and stomped over towards him. He snatched Sammy's white collar and threw him against the wall. Poor Sammy was so terrified that he peed a little in his shorts. His eyes became teary as his dad became angrier. He slapped Sammy's face until his cheeks were the color of Pepto-Bismol. He finally let go of him and told him he'd better not make any more noise. Sammy nodded his head and slowly walked up the stairs, his body shaking. He locked himself in his bathroom. His face was still stinging in pain. He lifted his shirt and saw purple and yellow bruises below his ribs. The colors blended in nicely. Sammy looked at his face in the mirror and smiled while tears ran down his neck. That day he decided that he was really a painting and that his father was the painter. Speaking of paint, the next poem the next poem is called I Paint You. I paint you as many times as I can until I cover all your scars, so that no one will ever know who you really were. I fill in your bruises with green, the color of life, so that every time you smile, they'll think you mean it, that there's no such thing as pretend. I trace your skin, every line connecting to your heart, with the color yellow, so that they'll think you're bright inside, that you were never fucked up. I hide you well, every day in front of them all, so that they can't judge the real you, so that they can't understand your thoughts, your flaws. I paint you because I don't know any other way to make you uncover your mask, to make you finally see that for once, it's okay to be you. Okay, the next one's I Wish. I wish I had spoken before I poured every bit of me onto your hands, the ones you used to embrace me, to make me feel loved in ways I never understood, in ways I wish I knew twisted me, bent my kindness, and hid my disgrace. I wish I had spoken before my loneliness begged for you to hide the misery, covered by illusions of you making me feel wanted, transparent to others, causing me doubt, reminding me of innocence, woven by manipulation, marked by fake words, mistaken for love. I wish I had spoken before you took away the moments I thought kept me happy, kept me alive, kept me thinking we were something we were not. Okay, the next one's me and you. Sometimes I hate you. Sometimes all I see in you is fear. Sometimes I want to hurt you. Sometimes I wonder why you're here. I want to love you, to look past your flaws, to say you're perfect, to say you gave it your all. But all I see is doubt. All I see is pain. All I see is a sad person who makes the same mistakes. I try to fix your shattered pieces. I try to put you back together. But every piece cuts me and goes through my skin even deeper. You're already broken, already destroyed, already empty inside, with no more hope. Sometimes I wish you could forgive yourself. Sometimes I wish you could move on. Sometimes I wish you wouldn't cry so much. Sometimes I wish you could be strong. Okay, the next two are just two really short poems. Ambition. Before you go, know that I tried. I saved the world from your madness, your ambition to grow. I kept you hidden, locked inside my heart, made only for me. Magnifying your dreams, covering your fears, only by my hands, so you would shine and find your light on your own. The next one's chaos. As you can tell, my titles are very simple. I always knew that from us two, the wind and sun would fight until one went numb, and the waves would say that chaos has come. And we would shatter, begging to hold on, as you let go, telling me it's time for one to fly away. So I watched you go, heard my echoes cover the snow, felt the wind fold my hope, because I always knew that one day it wouldn't be us two. Okay, this is my last one. It's a little different than my other poems. I kind of wrote it through someone else's voice. It doesn't have a title. A revolution. Doctor, tell me, what's your solution? Can your morphine and pills evaporate the pain and make the ones who are ill separate their souls from the important quotes, harboring inside the ones who already know that once you make a mistake, you have to go back? Backtrack to the past where my ancestors trusted anyone with open arms and love was the only solution to everything. These days, it's wars and evil that make us feel superior, because a bully is made into a king, and the one who was busy reading his books and keeping silent was known as a lost cause. Because that's the society we try to create. We're trying to primp ourselves and spit out more hate. The lessons can't ignore the mistakes we harbor to invade our own space. We question the things that we should trust. We own remedies that call our bluff. As society ignites our anger, we use hate to demonstrate how to flatter those we don't even need. And we forget the things in which we believe. The shadow starts to darken our path. We ignore the light and go towards what's bad. And love loses us in our own war. We're fighting against ourselves, fighting against something we can't challenge. There's two parts to every mind, two parts to every soul. But where did love go? Those are all my poems.